I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Marty McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig the dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Donnie Jones, she the one you wanna see. Donnie Jones Live, this is where you wanna be. Donnie Jones Live, Donnie Jones Live.
Hey, welcome to Donnie Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly. Feeling good being back.
Feeling good in the neighborhood.
Yes,
we are at beautiful St. Mark Church.
Right.
Yep.
Trying to do something a little bit different. You know, I'm doing Family and Friends Week this week.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to, clean up the church, and I wanted to at least
it looks very clean in here.
Yes, and I wanted to get you here at least sometime during the week. I know you might not be here on Sunday.
Well, first of all, once again, thank you for joining us. But if you don't know, my name is Donnie the Tree Lady, and I own a tree care company in Atlanta. And the reason why I'm mentioning that is because when I came to the studio today, which is also inside of St. Mark Lutheran, I noticed that you had a tree problem.
Yes, and actually I wanted to talk to you about that, but...
Well, why you didn't call me, man?
Well, see, you busy, and sometimes, honestly speaking, this is something that you can address, because I did do this. A tree fell in the back of our yard, meaning in the back of the church, and for me, not too many people go back there.
Right.
Not too many people. We don't do a lot of picnics in there, and it hasn't been a priority on the top of my list.
Yeah.
However, that is still not good in the life of a tree.
Absolutely right.
But I want to know why.
Well, it looks like, now I didn't go back there close and look like it, but it looked like it was a limb that had some structural issues to begin with, because where it broke, it looked like it was hollow. So this is the reason why, if you have trees in your yard, you want to have a certified arborist, or at least a arborist, which is somebody that has been in the tree care industry for a few years and is very knowledgeable. So you want to have an arborist come out and take a look at your trees. And if you're in the ATL, if you're in Atlanta, you call me, Donnie the Tree Lady. Our number is 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. So that when friends come see you, they don't see broken limbs in your yard.
And I just realized you are the largest African-American owned
tree care company in Atlanta, Oh,
wow.
I am.
You know what? I'm proud of you.
Oh, thank you.
So,
thank you very much.
speaking of that, when do you think y'all can come get that one out the backyard?
I'll have it done within the next week. I will.
Okay.
I would.
You know, and
7 days. I'm not talking about this week.
And you know what? And this is going to
week.
sound like a shameless plug, even though it is.
Yeah.
But one of my members, and I want to say this publicly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh,
because one of my members, we was having a church a little after Sunday service. So like, we need to talk to people more and find out what really. Sometimes what your need is, because until you open up your mouth, you don't know what somebody else's need, and you don't know if you can help them or not.
That's right.
So one of my members, a wonderful lady, had told me that a tree had fell on her property.
Yes.
And could someone, if we knew anyone.
Yeah.
And I told her, I said, I got you covered.
Yeah.
I got you covered. And I told Donnie about it like the next day.
Yeah.
And within the next week or two, tree was done and everything. And the reason why I'm saying this is, I was on Bible study just yesterday, and she was on. Yeah. And I just said, Ms. Brenda, how was the service and everything? Yeah. And I promise you, it was a quick infomercial.
Aww.
And so this Sunday I'm actually videotaping because we got to put her on tape. Because she was so happy about.
Thank you.
They came, they were clean. She said in 30 minutes they took the tree up and and I was just like, because see, for me, it's scary when you recommend your friends to do jobs.
Thank you.
Y'all know how that goes.
You better ask somebody.
You know how that goes. You get people calling back like, brother, are you serious? He came up here eating a sandwich. So anyway.
Not a sandwich.
Yes, sandwich and belching and stuff. But anyway, Donnie, what else has been going on with you?
Well, what else has been going on? Actually, I'm staying away from controversial stuff right now because I think we got enough of that going on.
Yeah.
But what I will say, because, we're always trying to bring value. That's why you watch this show.
Yes.
And if you do like the show, we want you to subscribe. If you're on YouTube, please subscribe to our channel and tell other people that you know to subscribe to it.
Right.
But we want to bring value. And yesterday, I was watching a video with... on YouTube with Steve Harvey.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And he was with this guy named Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone, he's a businessman. Steve Harvey's a businessman. Mm-hmm. But they were talking about what made Steve Harvey so successful. And I know there's some controversy going on about him and stuff like that. And all. I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about is what they talked about. And they talked about having a vision. Mm-hmm. And not just having a vision, but not letting go of that vision, even when times get challenging. So I want to chat with you about that. It'll probably roll into the next segment. But, you know, we're obviously going into a new season right now, which has been a blessing. You know, things are busy and, you know, trucks are rolling, you know, trucks are out of shop. So I'm feeling good, right?
Yep.
At the same token, I'm wondering how much sooner could things have changed or turned around if I would have kept track of my vision, if I would have kept my mind on my vision. Because what Steve Harvey talked about was that when he was sleeping in his car, when he was going bankrupt, he still kept in his foremind a vision of what he knew his life would look like now. But so I wanted to know how you felt about that, or if you could expound on that.
It is so interesting, Donnie. And this is, you know, how they say the spirit works sometimes.
Yeah.
I was actually sitting here writing, and I was writing about basically mimicking the ants. And understand what I'm saying. Mimicking the ant. You know, the ant is always in a rush.
Yeah.
And it's always determined. And if it has a goal, it's only going to reach that goal or it's going to die trying. You know, and it's always thinking about the next season.
Yeah.
You know, preparing for the next season.
Yep,
And that's actually what I
season.
was kind of writing out today was like, seasons are guaranteed to change.
It is. That's the key.
They are guaranteed.
They are guaranteed.
That's the only guarantee. It's going to change. You know,
Absolutely.
And the second thing is, you can't change the season.
Wait a minute. Whoa. Now, what do you mean?
Hear me out. Winter, spring, summer, and fall, they're guaranteed to come.
Yeah, they are guaranteed to come.
And when you're in the winter, you can't change it.
Okay, I see what you're
However,
saying.
you can't change the season, but you can change yourself, preparing for the next season.
Yes.
Because you know there's always going to be great times when the trucks are rolling, when things are happening, or when things are pumping, but you always got to have in that back mind, well, you know, the season's going to change.
That's right.
And I need to prepare for that.
That's
Even
right.
at the same time, we always hit those winter seasons where it's like it's struggling.
That's right.
And it's tough.
That's
you know,
right.
and it seems like things aren't growing, and it's not prospering.
Yeah.
But if you keep in mind, the season will change.
That's right.
You know,
and actually make that part of your vision.
Right.
Because think about it, in any season that you go through, you're heading to some place.
Right.
So it's not like your dream isn't going to come true just because you're in this particular season.
Right.
Even going back to being a parent, there was the first trimester, second trimester, third trimester, and then baby's born, right? Each one of those segments of my pregnancy was a season.
Yes.
And there's a lot of people out here trying to give birth to their dreams, or you've already given birth to your dreams, but you're seeing some challenges right now.
Yeah.
The economy's changed a little bit. You've had to change jobs, or you had your best team member go off and do something else, or you've got some illness in your family. Whatever that thing is, does not mean that your dream isn't going to come true. It just might mean that you need to adjust.
Right.
You need to implement systems. You might be in a phase where you just kind of got to lay low. But then a lot of times, and this is what Steve Harvey and Grant were talking about, a lot of times it means you need to dig in and do the work.
Oh, yeah.
And right now, I believe that we've transitioned out of that challenging season. Not that there aren't still some challenges. There's challenges. But because we were focused on doing the work, and you and I talk about this a lot, you know, sometimes you're like, okay, how can I get more followers? How can I get more customers? How can I get more this? Are you actually making the phone calls and doing the work?
That is,
you know,
that's
and that actually helps the season change.
That's a big key. Somebody asked me the other day about, you know, production, and I was telling them, you know, the challenges with production. And it was like, well, do you meet the people at commerce? Do you solicit more advertisers? Do you solicit doing this? What do you do? And I'm like, all of it.
All of it.
You know, it's not one thing to say, well, I did that and it didn't work. It's all of it. You know, and then sometimes you have to rethink the motto and rethink what you're doing. One interesting thing about Steve Harvey that a lot of people don't know, I think he's kind of like from Mississippi somewhere. He was doing some time
Ohio or something like that.
Somewhere in there. But one of my old mentors, and actually a person I worked for, named Ernest Davis, actually was working with Steve Harvey years and years and years ago before he's really just starting.
West Virginia. He's from West Virginia.
West Virginia. And he said Steve Harvey would come in to do a show.
Yeah.
You know, to be a stand-up comic.
Yeah.
And he said, you know, you would probably make more money if you rent the club and got other people to be on stage, and you can make more money having the package.
Yeah.
That mind shift in Steve's mind changed his whole outlook.
Wow.
And then he started realizing, instead of just being the product, how can I create the business?
That's right.
You know, and it's just a different way of, sometimes you have to shift your model. I'm saying I can continue to do the same thing over and over again and be satisfied with what I'm getting over and over. But if I want to do more, if I want to achieve more, I have to start thinking more.
Or also if you want a different result, because they say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result.
Right.
And I think a lot of times in our lives we do that. But going back to having a vision, if you know that you're staying steadfast on your vision, then you know that if you do the work, like if you've made a plan and you're doing the work and then you hit a roadblock, that doesn't mean that you stop what you're doing, but it's like going back to the GPS. If you hit a roadblock and you got a GPS system, you turn around, the GPS is going to take you down a different road and get you on another road, but it's going to get you to your destination. And go ahead. I'm sorry.
No. This is. I guess we're passionate about this.
Very passionate about
because
this.
You know, this is one that I preach about. You know, and because a lot of times people are in church trying to achieve something, something, you know, reconciliation with the family or something of that nature. But it's write down what you want. They say that
That's what he said too.
Right. Write down, see it. And like I think Earl Nightingale was saying, write your vision down maybe 3 times a day. Making sure that this is in your brain and you can focus on, this is my end result. And it will be achieved.
That's right.
You know, one way or another. I'm saying with my church, I'm doing that every day. You know, just really, well, I ain't gonna lie. I'm thinking about writing it down every day. You know, I'm sorry. I'm a transparent person. I will tell you the truth of what I believe, but I might not practice all of it. You know, like you preach, keep wholesome
what
thoughts.
Is so funny is that I just literally saw you catch yourself. Like you was on a roll, you're like, and then you write it down. Like me, I write it. Okay, well, no, I don't. I don't. Exactly.
No. That's who I want to be.
But here's the thing, though. Going back to you having these dreams, we've got dreams and aspirations, but there's work that we need to do to continue to make those dreams and aspirations happen. Part of it is writing it down.
Right.
So we might be on camera saying, okay, we didn't write it down, but we can start today. Writing it down every day.
Even in notes, and just write them down in your small notes. Because they say when you write stuff down, like in school, you actually think it through.
That's right.
You're thinking it versus just saying with some, off the top of my head, I'm not really thinking it. But if you write it down, write down this number, 770-413-TREE.
Yes.
When you need tree work, because, we got
give us a call, 770-413-TREE. That's right. Write that down.
Yes.
Don's Tree Service. If you're in Atlanta, give us a call, 770-413-8733. We'd love to come help you with your trees. And guess what? When your tree falls, you know who to call. And we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Yep. Hey, I'm that guy, Marty McFly, with the beautiful arborist, Doni Jones. And Doni, I got a quick question, okay?
Sure.
Seasons have changed, okay?
Yes, they have.
Trees change during the seasons, right?
Yes, they do.
But what do you need to look out for when the seasons change about your tree?
Well, what I like to tell people to look for are dead, dying, and hazardous limbs. Those are things that they can look for. Another thing is people always think that you only get fungus on your feet. That's not true. Trees get fungus also, so if you start to see mushrooms at the base of your tree, you want to have that checked out. Also, just like your leg, if you see a big old hole in your leg, you're going to be worried about that, right?
Right.
Well, with your trees, if you start seeing holes or cavities in your trees, you want to have us check that out too. It's important to take care of your trees.
Well, if somebody wanted to know more about trees, how can they get in contact with you?
Well, they can always check us out online at donstree.com. That's DONSTREE.com. Or they can give us a call at 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE. Hey, welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady, hanging out with that guy,
Marty McFly.
By the way, let's give a toast to being back in the house.
Back in the house.
Love it, love it, love it.
We've moved around a little bit, studio here, studio there, but I wanted to, for us to have a chance to come back over here to St. Mark. And actually, me and Donnie are trying to get back on location. So if you'd like for us to come to your business, your event or something like that, just reach out to us, and we would love to be a part.
But going back to that, because it seems like we do have people that watch us that lean more towards the entrepreneurial side or dreamer side. I just say dreamers. But we made a step. We decided to step out on faith, right?
Yep.
And we made a decision that we were going to go do a studio in a certain building and do a certain thing and that and the other. And you know what? We realized that for our customer base, for the people that we want to hit in the community, we really like being in the community.
Yeah.
And then we also thought about the fact that we've got these beautiful buildings that we both have access to. I've got a beautiful home that's got the access, and we're like, why are we not using what God already put in our hands?
That's interesting. I did a sermon a couple of weeks ago about, what did I say? I think I said something about evaluating your butt, and it's about, when you say, I don't have this, but I only got that. And we make excuses, but we don't realize what we already have.
That's right.
And that was one of the things that we realized. We have so much space.
We've got so much space
at our church home that we can use this, but we do like being out in the community because,
we do.
Like they say in church, you don't want people just to come in, but you want to go out and reach the people.
Absolutely.
But no, we just like to be out in the community. So again, if you have a business, we would love to come and do a show at your establishment, and maybe sample and promote your your business.
Absolutely. So even if you're not in the Atlanta area, if you have a business you want promoted, obviously Marty can do commercials. He does all of our commercials, and so if you've seen our commercials in Atlanta, this is the man that shot our commercials.
Only the good ones, right?
Yeah, okay. I did have a couple that was a little.
I'm just
I mean,
but
he didn't shoot those, but
right.
But no, seriously. But that goes back to your vision. My vision is to have Don's Tree Service be all over. Just to blanket the Atlanta area, and then if we go into other areas, that's cool too. But part of my vision means that I have to do the work, and this was part of doing the work. So yeah,
and after a while, your vision sometimes it gets changed. And that's okay because sometimes the market change.
Yeah.
And what used to be may have changed later on. I was talking to a young man yesterday. Great conversation. He said he's been in the trucking business for years. And he said that now the industry is changing.
Yes.
And he's trying to figure out what next to do. He said, and it's interesting. He said when the PPP loans came out, people started getting trucks and doing their own transportation. But it used to be to take a load from here to New York might cost $3,500 or something. He said, but now people get in and lower the value and say, well, I'll take it up there for $1,000.
Yes.
And he's like, that lowers the value. So he's
that
saying
lowers
now
the value,
it's changing his motto, and he's trying to shift because of the industry.
Yeah.
So the same thing with all industries. You want to keep doing what you do, keep your focus and your vision in it. But when you see the changing of the season or the industry, you might want to shift with that so you can still be in a good position later on.
Absolutely.
So
well, off the top of your head, is there anything in particular since we haven't seen each other in a week or two, anything in particular that's going on that you do want to have a little chat with? Because I know we like to pick certain topics and we have a little something, go back and forth. Your opinion or my opinion might be a little different.
Because I don't want to date it. I will say this is the only time that I don't want to do politics,
I feel you. I feel you on that.
But I honestly got to say I'm kind of feeling Donnie more on some political things that the president that we have in there right now. It's sad that if there's anybody else, it's more or less like this. I don't want the old one.
I know.
To get in. Okay, and it's like anybody better than him. But the one that we have is kind of like, hey, Barney Fife.
Yeah.
It's like, is he awake?
Yeah.
Is he speaking?
They literally caught him falling asleep, I guess it was. And it was like at some big national event.
Yeah. And that's the part that is like, I don't want, it's like this.
You don't want the other side.
No. I'll be okay with the other side.
Yeah.
I just don't want him.
Yes, got it. Got it.
I just don't want that one.
Yeah, I don't want either one of that one.
Yeah, really, and that's what I'm saying.
And guys, we're trying to be general with this because it gets to a point where you hear so much about this stuff that you're like,
Yeah.
But it's something I feel like we do need to start thinking about as a community. We can't keep voting for the same people.
Yeah.
Even if we're not happy with everything on the other side, we might need to give the other side a shot. Or hold our nose and give the other side a shot just to see, because we can't do no worse.
I'm saying it goes.
Than what we got going right now.
Well, we couldn't do no worse than what we had the last regime. Mm-hmm. That last thing we couldn't really do any worse. Now this one is, but I ain't crazy about. So even if someone from the left, if they beat the guy who's going to trial, if they beat him, I might go to that side. Being honest. Yeah. I just want someone that I feel good about that represents America.
I'm leaning right now.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna put it at that. I'm not leaning towards that other dude, but I'm definitely leaning.
I'm just saying if I have other options.
Yes.
I will. Let's
just say there's a brown gentleman on the other side that I'm leaning towards, and I'll leave it at that.
See, I won't lean just because of the color.
No. I'm just saying.
I don't. Yeah, just the last two that's been fighting. I don't want either one of them.
There you go. I don't want either one of those. I don't want either one of them.
Just being honest. So. Let's shift, because that's a touchy.
I know. I just wanted to see where you were at on that. Because I'm still leaning right, but it's not that other dude. It's a younger, more vibrant, energetic guy who's I'm leaning towards.
I see what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about. I can
check out his stuff. I'm not gonna say his name right now on my podcast because. I ain't endorsing nobody yet, but I'm just saying there's a young guy. Mm-hmm. On the other side that I really like.
But what's more interesting, Donnie, is we have these long debates and we talk about the ones in that race.
Yeah.
But then a lot of them that really affect our day-to-day lives.
Yeah, are local.
Yeah. And I don't even know any of them.
I don't either.
And I'll be honest with you, I don't even know.
Well, I know some. That's not true, because I do know our mayor. And
of Atlanta?
I do.
Yeah, the mayor of Atlanta, but and
he's doing
live in
somewhere. I live in Atlanta.
Is that technically Atlanta?
That's Atlanta, yeah.
Okay. I live in Douglasville, and I don't know my mayor. Yeah. I know I see the signs all the time. Vote for sheriff, whoever, or vote for district. And it's like that's
well, you
cute.
know what
I would go in there and do a disservice. I would go in there and say Democrat, and really don't know.
Yeah. Well, you know what we can do? Why don't we all challenge each other? Because I think all of us are at this point, and this is why we're bringing this up, where we're just kind of like, I'm over this, right? Why don't we make a commitment to each other, and you guys make a commitment too, that we all decide to get more involved?
Yeah.
Let's get involved. Also, if you decide that you got a good, if you honestly have a good head on your shoulders, and you're thinking about, you're not happy with either side, why not you out there run for office in your local government?
Right.
Because that's where our national government comes. It comes from people that ran locally, made a name for themselves, and then run nationally. And I think it is that we are at a point where we have to start looking at our neighbor going, okay, I'm not crazy about what's going on, but we got to get involved. We got to do something different. We got to do something different
to change.
Because we are going back to Steve Harvey. And like I said, I know a lot of y'all may not necessarily like him.
No, Steve.
But he said he's a great guy. I love his stuff. I love his stuff. But he speaks truth when he says that you have to do the work.
Yeah.
You gotta look yourself in the mirror, create a vision for yourself, and do the work. And I feel like in our community, we've got to do that. Not in a selfish manner, but we got to go, listen, somebody outside the community is not going to fix our community.
Yeah.
It's just not going to happen. It's not going to be legislated away. It's not going to be another policy this. Yes, there are policies that can help. But honestly, it comes back to individuals reaching out to their neighbor going, listen, how can I help? Now I'm trying to help myself, but is there a way that I can also help you?
Right. And get up off that tail.
Yeah. Get up,
no, all joking aside.
I didn't know I was going to put it that way, but yeah.
I'm saying there's a biblical story about that with a man that stayed by a pool for 30-something years trying to get healthy. But his excuse was, nobody would help me get to the water. You know, and Jesus walked over to him like, do you even want to be helped?
Wow.
Do you even want to be healed?
Yeah.
And the dude said, yeah. He said, well, get up and get your bed and walk. And the guy got up, and it's funny because it wasn't like a miracle. You just been around so many other people that you believe that you were sick because you were surrounded by sick people. You know, when you realize, oh, I can get up, I can walk, I can do for myself.
Yeah.
I don't have to depend on everybody or listen to all these other people that are negative. Get up and make the change in your own life.
Morgan Freeman said that. I know we don't have a lot of time left, but Morgan Freeman said that. And I know people gave him, and also he got some issues I ain't crazy about, but anyway, But, you know, Don Lemon was interviewing him, and he was like, what about people that don't have and they ain't got the bootstraps and you do whatever to do it, right? And Morgan Freeman says, BS. He said, everybody can get on a bus, save up enough to get on a bus, scrape together, borrow some money, get on a bus, and get out of whatever situation you're in. You don't like the city you in? Leave it. Get in your car and leave. Catch an Uber and leave. Get a job, live in your car, do whatever you got to do to get out of your situation. You don't have to stay where you're at. You might have some rough times trying to move out of that situation, but I got to think about the fact that there's people that move to this country with nothing. And choose to put themselves in a better predicament because they want to do better for their families.
At first I was going to kind of disagree, but I honestly agree that you can do something, making a plan to change your environment. And you might not be able to do it today at this moment, but you got to start making plans and steps to change your life, because you can do it, and you can't wait for someone else to come save you.
Well, let's leave it with that.
Yeah.
If you have a dream, so we started off with dreams and aspirations. If you have a dream or aspiration, just know that you get that vision in your head, you can do it. You may need to figure out what work you need to do to make it happen, but if you'll do the work, keep your vision, and don't give up, you'll make your dreams come true.
Yep.
Marty and I are living proof of that. We're not exactly all the way where we want to be, but we're not where we used to be. And we have been blessed to have a voice that maybe can connect with you and encourage you to go be all that you can be.
Yep. So, great day, great time. Until next week. You're listening to Donnie Jones Live with Donnie Jones, Marty McFly.
That's right.
We will see you next week.
Yeah.